Now, we did a session recently talking about the journey that you're going to take in your transformation program. Okay. Now, we're going to use that same process. Okay. And I was very creative with these names. Okay. So, every person that goes on a transformation journey, okay, they are going to go through these three basic phases. Okay, you're going to go through what we call, well, I don't even know the names of it. I'll get tricky with the names, but you're going to go through a beginning phase, right? When you're just starting, you're going to go through the middle phase, and then you're going to go through the end phase. Okay, so beginning, middle, and end. Okay, and they're all just a little bit different. The beginning phase, you're just starting off. Everything's tough, everything's hard. You want to make the transformation, but you're motivated, you're ready to get started. It might be January, okay? But you haven't really developed any habits yet. You don't really have any skills yet. You're just kind of raw, okay? But you're motivated, okay? And you feel that fire inside of you. That's the beginning phase, okay? That's also when you're going to have to really shift a lot of stuff around. And we'll talk about that here in a second. So there's some challenges, there's some good things and some bad things about that beginning phase, okay? Then there's that middle phase. And in that middle phase, that's kind of like I use this analogy. Imagine yourself, you're starting your journey, and you know that, hey, my goal is to run to the castle. Okay, but between you and the castle is a huge forest. Okay, where Robin Hood lives. Okay, so there's a huge forest, right? But right now you're starting off, and you can see the castle, and you can see it's on the top of that mountaintop, and you can see it, but you know that you have to go through those trees and through that forest in order to get to the castle. So you're so excited. You can see the end. You're like, okay, cool. Let's go do it. That's the beginning phase. You're starting. Boom, boom, boom. You get going. Okay. Then you get into the forest, and you're still in the beginning phase. Then you get into the middle of the forest, and now you're in the middle phase. And in the middle of that forest, you look to your left, you see trees. You look to the right, you see trees. You look in front of you, you see trees. You see behind you, you see trees. And everywhere you look, you see trees. You can't even feel the motivation that you had at the beginning. You can't even see the goal that you originally created at the very end. Okay. So in this phase, this is when you're going to lose the motivation. This is when you're not going to be able to see the end in sight. Okay. So that's what happens in the middle phase. Okay. In the end phase, okay, this is when you kind of get out of that forest. Now you see the castle. Now you see it. It's at the top of a hill. Okay. But it's far, and you see it, and you're tired, and you're thirsty, and you're hungry, and you're ready to stop, and your feet are hurting. Okay. You're tired of running. Okay. So that's the end phase. There's going to be all kinds of things that happen in that phase. Okay. So in that phase, that's where you start to feel really extreme feelings. That's where you have the most extreme feelings of wanting to quit. Okay. When you get closer and closer to your goal, sometimes people get more motivated the closer they get to their goals. Sometimes people get more discouraged because they're thinking every single moment, every single day. But really what happens is you start to go through these ups and downs. One minute you're like, all right, I got it. The next minute you feel like you're going to fail. You feel like you're never going to make it, right? And you're literally on a minute basis, your mindset changes. One minute you're motivated, the next minute you feel like you're never going to make it. The next minute you're motivated, the next minute you're never going to make it. You keep getting punched in the face over and over again. Maybe you're going up that hill, and you slip on some gravel, and you fall down, and you're like, oh man, I shouldn't be falling at this point. I shouldn't be falling down. I shouldn't be having slip ups. I should be really good at this point because I've been running all the way from the other side of the forest. I should be really good, right? And that's where your mindset really starts to play. So it gets really, really challenging towards the end, because the end, you have to power through so many different things. Okay. So that's the beginning, middle, and end phase.